as I indicated yesterday, today we'll be talking about وَلَمَّا سَكَتَ عَنْ مُوسَى الْغَضَبِ, exploring what's known nowadays as anger management. Now, there are two types of anger. One that is desirable, which what happened with Musa alayhi salam, when he said to Harun, "Ukhlifni fi qawmi," and then when he came back after 40 days to find his qawm worshipping the calf, and he got outraged. How could that happen after Allah saved you from Fir'aun, and Allah splitted the sea for you and show you so many miracles? So it was clear that the Bani Israel deviated from the right path, and the anger of Musa alayhi wasallam was justified, as the Prophet ﷺ never seen angry except when the hurumat will be violated. Now there is the other anger, which is the bad anger. Bad anger is what we are discouraged from being involved in, and this is the cause of so many problems. When the Prophet ﷺ, a man came to him, said, "Ya Rasulullah, awsini." He said to him, "La taghdab, don't get angry." And then he said, repeat that 3 times, and every time the Prophet ﷺ will be saying to him the same thing, "La taghdab, don't get angry." Now I want you to imagine this scenario. You woke up in the morning, it's late, you rush to do your salah, and they come back home, and your breakfast is not ready, and then you happen to be late. You make it to your car. By the time you jump into your car to start the car, you realize that you had a flat tire. So on the road was chaotic, happened to be running late. Your grumpy boss or manager happened to be the first person to see you coming late on that day, and you had a very rough, difficult day. You come back home, and then you find one of your kids or your wife doing something that shouldn't have been done, and then boom, you burst. Sounds familiar, Abdullah, right? Now this is a typical scenario of what happens when we get angry. And anger, by the way, is a mechanism. It's a build-up mechanism. It goes from 1 all the way to 10. From 1 to 7, without getting into the details of what goes between 1 to 7, is the build-up. And then 8 or 9 is the burst, and then eventually the reset back again. Now, as I said, for the sake of the time, without getting into the details, how are we able to control our anger? How can we exercise, the ayat of the Quran? وَلَمَّا سَكَتَ عَنْ مُوسَى الْغَضَبِ. Allah Azza used this metaphor as if anger was a dictatorship, was instructing and dictating on Musa to burst his anger. And that's exactly what happened to you when you get angry. The Prophet ﷺ once seen a man in an angry situation. His face was glowing, and he said, "I know a word, if that person were to say, the anger would go away, which is أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم." Now, and Allah Azza wa Jal, said, like even in the same surah, Surah Al-A'raf, that we were exploring this ayah from, خُذِ الْعَفْوَ وَأْمُرْ بِالْعُرْفِ وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ. And in the previous, surah, in Surah Al-Imran, Allah described, the muhsineen, وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Now, practically speaking, how can you do anger management? Because many people come to me with a court order that they're not allowed to go back home until they get their anger management course. And this is something that's becoming very common in our community, unfortunately. Think of it this way. If you were to maintain and control the negative energy in your mind and heart, then you're able to maintain a positive or a breathing ability to handle situations in your life. Most of the time, when you get angry because there is no husn al-dhan, because of wrong assumption. Therefore, you need to somehow work on maintaining the negative energy within the limits, and increase your positive energy. How can you do that? Simply be from those who are khashi'in in their salah. Khushu' in salah, or mindfulness as we call it in psychology, is the most effective tool to help you maintain your positive energy. If you're able to give the benefit of the doubt, and before you burst, you get, you inquire, which is what's important in difficult situation, then most likely you're able to diffuse the scenario without getting angry and creating so much chaos. This typical scenario happens a lot in our community. Disputes or a fight or an argument between the husband and the wife. The wife goes to him, I dare you, if you're a man, طلقني إن كنت راجل, right? Divorce me if you're a man. Now, why she's saying that? Anger, and if the man, exercise the anger again back, reciprocate the same anger, the family will be destroyed. Before you get into any actions, take a deep breath, as the Prophet ﷺ told you. If you're standing, sit down. If you're sitting, lay. And if you're able to go and do wudu to extinguish the fire of the shaitan, then this would help you to have a fresh perspective on how to deal with these issues. Effective communication, inquiring, إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا, inquiring and having effective communication, 90% resolve the difficult situation and prevent anger, problems from happening, and save families, because most of the time families and children will be suffering as a result of these issues that are coming from anger. If you're unable to do it on your own, seek help. It is absolutely healthy to do so. Jazakumullah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Tomorrow, inshallah, we will be talking about Surah At-Tawbah, or the Tawbah in the context of Surah At-Tawbah, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.